What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Of course, my name is Travis and you are watching TWA Motorsports. And in today's video, like the title says, time to sell the Tahoe. So if you guys have been following me on Facebook, I'll list that link down below. Whether you're following the shop certified or you're following TWA Motorsports, I did list this thing for sale. Yeah, it's time to sell it. So why put this money in it and then sell it? Well, I don't know, guys. This is kind of what I do. I honestly, this wasn't the plan to put an LS1 in this thing. The plan was to just put a cam in the 5.3 and fix the lifters, because you guys know that when I originally bought this thing, it had a, you know, the normal GM lifter tick, let's call it that. But anyway, I'm going to walk you around it. We're going to talk about some of the things. I am finished with the tuning process. So Matt Sanford is who had tuned this, and he did an incredible job, guys. First key up with his tune in it, it started and ran really well, to be honest with you. But anyway, we're gonna walk around. Like I said, we're gonna kind of go over some of the stuff that I've done to this. Now look, there's still some stuff that needs to be done, but I figured this is a good time to pass it to another owner and you know, let them finish up and do, you know, their touches on it. As far as the drivetrain and whatnot, it's pretty solid. I think a built transmission would be a plus, and maybe a bigger stall converter. But anyway, let's get into what we've done. So honestly, guys, some of the first things that I do to these is like headlights, fog lights, LEDs. You guys know that. You've seen it multiple times on this channel, but I haven't done that on this. So this still has the old halogens. It's got one fog light that needs to be replaced. The lens is gone. And so yeah, I didn't do my norm there, which was start there. And I think the main reason was because it had, that lifter tick was so bad that I really just wanted to address that first, because it was so noisy. But nothing on the front. I did adjust the front bumper. It had a big gap, like it had been, like maybe they got up on something and backed up and it pulled that bumper back. So I did loosen those and adjust that. As far as the outside goes, I did take the roof rack off and put some little button screws in there that makes it look a little cleaner. One of the very first things I did is I paid a buddy of mine to detail it. So he paint corrected the entire side, a little bit on the hood and a little bit on the top, but he really spent a ton of time on the sides, and it's really dusty and dirty right now. I've been driving it like that picture in the thumbnail shows. I hauled a lawnmower down to certified a couple days ago and actually mowed the grass, and this thing pulls a lawn mowing trailer great. So kind of impressive. But yeah, as far as the outside, just detailed. I haven't even tinted the windows on this thing, but I took the roof rack off. Obviously, guys, the stance is completely different. So I bought these wheels and tires off of Cohen. He had just bought these tires when he got his truck wrecked, or he wrecked his truck, whatever you want to say. And so I bought these wheels off of him, and then I bought some black bow ties because he had it on a GMC and had GMC center caps. But tire size is a 245 or 275 45 20 stock 2014 up GMC Sierra wheels. Nothing special there. Obviously the stance. Okay, so we did lower this thing. Now we started out with a torsion bar drop, because even if you buy, so this is two-wheel drive, but even if you buy a two-wheel drive in these body style Tahoes, they are torsion bar, which I hate torsion bars. And I honestly am not a big fan of the gearbox either. So if you get torsion bars, you automatically are getting a gearbox. So for some reason, GM decided to run that, whether it was two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. But on the trucks in these years, if you got a two-wheel drive, you got a steering rack, like a rack, power rack and pinion. And if you bought a four-wheel drive, you got a steering box. And they kind of went back and forth. So like if you get a super short Silverado with the little short bed and the extended cab, those were all torsion bar trucks, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. And the SS, the Chevy SS, or the Chevrolet SS pickup, Silverado SS, they were all torsion bar. Even the later models, the 06 and 07, that were two-wheel drive. So I don't understand that. But anyway, we started out with the torsion bar drop. I used some 3/4 ton keys out of that dually that we put together I still had. I bought 2-inch drop spindles and got the front down and put Beltec shocks on it. Then we went to the back. I did a Beltec shock and a Beltec spring. It's a street performance shock. And I did the DJM relocation. I don't think it was a DJM brand, but it was an off brand that I bought off eBay. I'm putting all these links in the description down below, so you can go check it out. Aside from that, that's pretty much it in the back. So the relocation bracket, I got relocation for the shocks. That's an important deal. Beltec 4-inch springs, and that relocation for the lower control arm. It just makes everything happy as far as geometry goes. But then I bought an atomic fab coilover set. So then we ditched all that stuff that was brand new and decided to put the torsion bar setup on. I did put new outer tie rod ends on and an inner tie rod in, I believe, while I was doing that. I did new upper and lower control arms. All the bushings are new. Sway bar end links are new. So that covers the outside of this thing. And roughly, guys, it is about 3 inches in the front, maybe 3.5, 4.5 inches in the back lower than factory ride height. So outside, that pretty much covers everything. It does have a few dents and scratches. So if you guys are looking at this, you know, the hood's got some spots. Honestly, the paint's in pretty good shape, but if a guy took this to a PDR guy, he could probably pop a remainder of this out. But let's go on to the inside and then we'll get under the hood and show you that. But as far as the inside goes, it was pretty gross. My buddy Mason, who detailed this, did an incredible job cleaning the inside. And then I had, of course, the seats reupholstered up front because they were torn and looked like crap. This switch holder is new. New heating elements top and bottom on both sides. This foam is new. And then, of course, he recovered the seats. And then I put in an aftermarket Kenwood doubled in. I wanted to be able to connect to my phone and whatnot. As far as that in here, it's pretty much stock. I'll show you the subs in the back. I did put an amp under the middle seat, and there's a couple subs that I had laying around. But as far as the interior goes, I mean, it's pretty clean. The headliner's starting to fall, and I just haven't had time to mess with that, to be honest with you. It does need a new headliner. And then other than that, oh, I bought Lloyd's floor mats. You can see I've got them covered here. I bought them for the first and second row. I bought them in a dark brown because I thought they'd stay a little cleaner than if I bought them in tan. And they man, they fit nice and look nice. You can see we've been using this thing. Guy's seats in here. But anyway, back here I did put some subs that I had laying around out of the shop. These are actually Cohen. Back when Cohen had his G8, we had these in his G8. He didn't want to put them in his Corvette, so I thought, well, they're just setting up there. We'll boom around. And you can see, in order to make these fit, I had to put the third row up. So that pretty much covers the inside. I wanted to show you this Lloyd floor mat on this side. You can see a little better since I don't have it covered. But nice form-fitting, quality products, guys. If you ever buy Lloyd's floor mats, they're incredible. So now to the biggest thing that we did, which is under the hood. I mean, look, obviously, we'll start it up here in a second. It's not quite as impressive as I thought it would be, I guess, with the LS1 and that. Guys, you get kind of desensitized to power. So, like, when you drive something that's pretty quick, you just, I don't know, nothing feels fast anymore. But anyway, we did a lot under here, guys. Obviously, when I was pulling the cam out, we had an issue with the cam bearing. It fell out. That was not in the cards. That was not the plan. I did not want to do that, but it happened. And so I thought, well, we have this LS1 that we parted out of the Trans Am. We had a WS6 Trans Am that I parted out here. I don't know, it's probably been about a year ago now. And this LS1 was just setting on the engine stand. So I thought, you know what, let's just use that. So what we did is we put this LS1 in, aluminum LS1 5.7 out of a Trans Am, 02 Trans Am WS6. I put new water pump. It had all new seals in it already. It had PRC heads from Texas Speed. I did the BTR Truck Norris cam. I had already bought that cam for the 5.3. I wanted to try it. I've heard a bunch of good stuff about it. I've never been a huge BTR guy, but I wanted to try it. And so the plan was for that cam to go in the 5.3. This motor actually had a Texas Speed 224 cam, and I honestly thought that for the power that this thing, I didn't want to spin it way up to make power. It just doesn't make sense in an SUV. So I thought this BTR cam, I saw a guy that's done this in an LS1. I thought it would be kind of like torquey, more so than the cam that was in it. So that's what we slid in. New timing chain. Well, no, actually the timing chain in it was a good one, so we used that. I did put Speed Engineering 1 3/4 long tubes. I went with 1 3/4 over 1 7/8 because, like I said, the power band that I'm trying to obtain with a big heavy SUV was, I wanted it lower. I wanted more torque. So that is why I went with the 1 3/4. It is an off-road Y pipe into the stock factory catback exhaust. Other than that, under here, MSD plug wires. I had to put a new alternator on it. It didn't act like it was charging correctly. It has an aftermarket, for some reason, intake on it. It's got a Dorman, which they say flows better. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it's what it had. You guys probably remember seeing that when I went to put intake gaskets in it and I bought the wrong ones because they're different. Aside from that, an air intake. This is an MIT tube. This is actually out of the green truck I put in here to get a little more flow. AC works great. No oil leaks whatsoever. Of course, while it was apart, it does have a stock 4L60 in it. I don't know whether it's ever been replaced before. Based on what I saw down there, it looks like somebody's touched the bolts before, so my guess is it probably has had a transmission at some point. But I did put an FTI 2600 stall converter. Look, I didn't want it to feel like, when you have a big stall converter, it takes a little bit to get going and it feels like a race car. And I did not want this thing to feel like that. I will say this converter is ridiculously tight though. You can't even tell. I don't think you could put somebody in this and they would know it had a 2600 stall converter in it. Very, very tame. And yeah, that pretty much covers everything that we've done. It's taken a really long time. Oh, I didn't show you under there. I also did the electric fan conversion. So I think in 05 or 06, the Tahoe and these body styles, they flipped to a electric fan. This right here did not come with that, so I did put that in there. The things that are left to do though, I showed you, like I said, that it needs some PDR, it needs a headliner. The other thing though is it does have an ABS light on, which I did buy the module, I just haven't put it in yet. And the 2-post is tied up, so I may get that installed. But when you start it, it does have the service engine or service brake light, no SES light, but the ABS light and the brake light stays on. Let's go back here and listen to this thing. Idles really smooth. I mean, you can feel it has a cam. It's choppy, but good oil pressure. It's got a high volume pump in it. You can see service StabiliTrak and the ABS light. So that is from that module that's under the driver's seat. But let's go back here and listen to this thing make noise, because it is choppy. Let's go for a rip down the road. Let me see if I can pick that up on camera. Like I said, it's not even as fast as Dana's. I don't think it's as fast as my truck here. I also don't think it's as fast as the SS. I want to show you guys something real quick. I just saw it on camera. See this right here? Travis's screw up. I was sick about that. When I was delivering the 55 to my buddy Blake, I had the tailgate down, showing him all the stuff that I had for the 55. I left it down. He told me to back up into a spot where we're gonna drop it, and I completely forgot the tailgate was down, and my tailgate swung when I moved when the trailer was backing up and hit the jack on the trailer. $1,000 boo-boo for Travis right here. Actually a little over 1,000. It's about 900 for this piece. It just messed up the top. You can see it. But I've also got to buy a new top cap as well. So yeah, a little over $1,000 mistake that I've got to fix now. Anyway, I saw that. I haven't really wanted to show you, but look, I screw up sometimes. It's just how it is. Let's get in this thing. Let's see if we can rip down the road. If I could find a good place to mount the camera. I think I may be able to mount this on my hat. I don't know. Maybe I can mount it under here. There we go. I think I can mount it right there. Let's give it a shot. It is really, really hot today, and I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I haven't really taken you guys on a full rip since we've gotten this thing tuned. And so, yeah, it's not like I said, it's not like super impressive. Oh, I did hook up, I don't have a backup camera, but that's why it goes into that mode. We'll stop right here. It's all warmed up. We just got back from going to get ice cream with it. And we'll see if we can do a little hit here from a stop. Maybe go to second gear. Let's turn the AC off here. All right. So it's like, I don't know, you can see what I'm talking about. It's not like, I guess I thought that it would just melt the tires with that 2600 stall and this newfound power. But me and Cam actually went and weighed this thing the other day. There's a place close to us that you can weigh stuff. It's actually for like semis and whatnot. But we pulled up on that rack, and this thing with me and Cam in it was 5,540 pounds. And I will tell you that the transfer with these coilovers is incredible. So I think that, you know, it's heavy. It doesn't make like 600 horsepower. And honestly, the subs in the back, there's just a lot going against it. I think if a guy put like a 3,500 stall converter in it, it would flash higher, and it would probably melt the tires. But I was kind of bummed out. I thought maybe it, like at least spin through first gear. But anyway, Matt did an incredible job tuning this. Guys, I've taken this, we've went on a couple 100+ mile trips in this thing, and it has been solid. AC blowing cold, idling in the heat. Today it's showing 89 here, but it's been like, we were just idling in a drive-through to get ice cream just right before I started filming this video, and this thing does not get over 210. I don't know what the actual, probably more like 195. The fans kick on, it stays super cold. We got the AC blasting, front and rear AC going. So I'm pretty happy. Like, it's solid. I would never, I don't know, it's one of those deals where I don't like to sell stuff to people. Sorry, I'm kind of moving my mount around here, but I won't sell somebody something if I don't like have faith in it. And if I do, like the parts truck back there, for instance. So like, I'm gonna obviously tell somebody that, look, it doesn't have a motor or transmission, but like when I sell something to somebody, I want them to know all the pitfalls. I will be very honest. Like, if they ask me, could you drive this to California tomorrow, I would literally get on the road with this thing at any point and drive it anywhere now. It's super solid, like I said. But anyway, I wanted to walk you guys around. If I've got some people that are looking or have reached out to me, I've had a couple people reach out to me. I've had a couple offers. I don't want any trades, guys. I'm trying to thin some stuff out. So I'd like to stay more focused on the stuff that I have. That doesn't mean an occasional car won't come through, but I really need to get rid of the turbo parts truck. I really need to get, well, I'd like to get rid of this. The 55 is now gone. I'd like to have just more room in the shop to work on stuff and finish some stuff up. And then, like I said, as soon as, well, this is finished now for the most part, and I'm trying to sell it. So I really want to get the Trans Am going. So I have talked to Matt about tuning it. And so that is the next step as far as getting another project on the road. And then we're in the process of obviously working on the red truck. You guys have seen the shop truck, so we got some plans for it as well. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, if you have liked the Tahoe build, go down there and hit that thumbs up button. Of course, drop some comments down there as well. Guys, if you are not subscribed, go down and hit the subscribe button, ring that bell notification. That will notify you every single time we drop a new video. And stay tuned to see if this thing sells or sticks around.